DJI slashed its corporate sales and marketing team from 180 to 60, 60-person headcount at its Shenzhen headquarters. Its global video production team, once used to highlight DJI drones' filming potential, has shrunk from 40 to 50 people to around 3. And Reuters asked DJI about this, and the spokesperson at DJI said that the 2019 structure of the organization was becoming unwieldy to manage after years of strong growth. The spokesperson said they had to make some difficult decisions to realign talent so they can continue to achieve business goals during challenging times. So, David, I know we spoke right before this, and there's some things you can and cannot say, of course, after previously working at DJI. But when you see news like this with these layoffs, what do you make of it? When I talk to some of my friends and family that are not in the drone industry during COVID, they're all saying, wow, drones must be doing really well right now. I think they see the Forbes article or a Time magazine article, and they think that, things must be really moving for this industry. But, when we see the biggest player making cuts like this, it can be telling. So what do you guys make of this news?
So as you mentioned, there's not too much I can share about my specific experiences, but just about my overall thoughts is I think there's a lot of truth in both the article and also in the comment from the spokesperson. I'm not sure on how accurate those numbers are specifically, but DJI is one of the first, if not the first, large Chinese company to really make its stand in the international market. And with that comes a lot of challenges in how you do manage an organization of that size. Right. The upper management are Chinese nationals, and they're managing an organization with a lot of sales and sales potential in Europe and America and everywhere else. And so there's just a lot of pain and also struggles that come with making that type of organization, and kind of with the unique culture at DJI. And I can speak a little bit to that, of just being very scrappy, trying to build internal talent instead of looking towards outside. And a lot of times that means you're hiring a lot of people that you don't really know why you're hiring them. And they kind of do what they do. And you're like, oh, we didn't really want to do that necessarily. And just the nature of the whole organization being so grown from the grassroots, there is a lot of, I guess, pain in any organization that's trying to go through those kind of growth spurts, and has really dominated the market and grown so much over the years.
That very much reminds me of Google on one side, because early Google was completely freewheeling. There was actually barely any middle management staff. So there were a lot of kind of, well-developed talents, geniuses in any right, that were just allowed to do their own thing, but they didn't necessarily make the company money. And they went to kind of this Berkshire Hathaway model of, Alphabet. That's what that was about, allowing certain kind of projects to live and die on their own. So DJI, clearly, there's some big differences between those two companies, but it must have been rapid acceleration of growth, because when CJ first started, I said DJI owned more of the drone market than Apple ever owned of the smartphone market. Think about that. It's just kind of crazy, the level of kind of fast growth that must have been going on, and pulling in some of the greatest talent, I would expect. So, but does that talent actually fill a necessary business need? I think every company, and this is not the first kind of news like this we heard from DJI this year, was every company is evaluating whether or not talent is fitting our business purpose going forward. It's not just unique to drones, I would think.
Yeah, definitely agreed. I would just say, I think for the Alphabet model, there's a lot of trust and delegation, and it's interesting to kind of see that in the China model. Just a lot of Chinese corporations, they tend to have a very top-down approach, kind of run in some way like a military organization. Kind of the boss says what the boss says, and you kind of follow in that direction. So it'll be interesting to see how those two things collide, and where hopefully, yes, there's going to be more structure at the company, at DJI, after this potential changes and cultural changes. And hopefully they do become more transparent about what exactly that is, both internally and externally. I know that the statement from the spokesperson did kind of suggest that was the direction, but it's not too clear on exactly how that's going to be working out.